We are about to find out what's up with the 2015 Seattle Seahawks. This one game is going to tell us just about everything we need to know, and when the game is over about 47 hours from now, we'll know. We'll know if this is a team that wants to try to meet the preseason expectations, wants to try to get on the level that they've been at the last few seasons, that wants to try to make something of this year. Or we'll find out if the team just really isn't all that good. And it's very, very binary. It's going to be very simple to tell which of those two things is the case. The time for moral victories, the time for improvement, the time for pacing yourself, the time for all of those, all that crap is over. Game number 9, coming off a bye week, playing a divisional opponent at home in front of a primetime crowd in front of a primetime audience. It's very simple. Either you win or you lose, and it doesn't matter how it happens. It doesn't matter who gets hurt for you. It doesn't matter who gets hurt for the other guys. It doesn't matter what kind of bullshit happens throughout the game for either side. And it doesn't matter if you win by a point or by a yard or by an inch. This game is very simple. Win or lose. You win, things are looking up. If you lose, you can pretty much forget about it. The first 4 losses of this season have been close losses. They've all been games in which we've had a lead at some point in the fourth quarter. They've all been competitive games that we could have won. And you take some comfort in that, obviously, but you can't keep playing that card. Eventually, those close losses have to turn into close wins. And by that same token, our wins this year have not been that impressive. We barely squeaked by Detroit. We beat Dallas by a point. The 49ers and Bears, at the time that we played those two teams, were complete dumpster fires. So good wins against those teams only count for so much. So this is the moment of truth for the 2015 Seahawks. And it doesn't really matter if half the team gets injured out there on Sunday night. Doesn't matter if the referees are in the Cardinals' back pocket all night. None of that shit matters. I don't care about any of that. The result on the scoreboard at the end of the game will tell us where this team is headed for the second half. I firmly believe that. You know, I was thinking about this earlier. When a division or a conference or an entire league has a power shift, there's a shift in the balance of power, it's usually violent. Back in 2011, the 49ers hired Jim Harbaugh, and they took control of the division. That first year, they went 13-3. They made it to the NFC Championship game and were one play away from going to the Super Bowl and maybe winning it. You know, it was violent. They stepped in, they put their foot down on the division, and they handled their business the entire year. And they held on to that for about 2 years. And then week 16 of the 2012 season, a game that I will always remember, just because it was one of those games where you felt a shift in the balance of power in the NFC West. The 49ers came in to CenturyLink Field and lost 42-17. Now, even that didn't shift the power completely. The 49ers that year went to the Super Bowl and lost. We lost in the divisional round. Job wasn't even done then. We blew them out 42-17, and the job was still not done. Next year, week 2, they came into Seattle for another game, 29-3, and it was done. We had seized control of the power struggle in the NFC West. We were the top dogs, and the other 3 teams were trying to climb up to get us. But it was a violent process. We had to take that team, a team that had beaten us 4 times in a row, and blow them out twice in order to assert ourselves. The 49ers didn't just hand it over like it was free. We had to rip it away from them. So, with the Cardinals coming in at 6-2, looking like a really good team, they got to rip it away from us. We're not going to give them the NFC West. They look like they're the better team so far. They look like they could do it, but they got to come in here and they have to beat us for us to give that up. Last year, they were 9-1, 3 games ahead of us in the NFC West. 3-game lead with 6 games to go, but they hadn't taken it from us yet. We played them twice. We blew them out twice. We took the division. Arizona got eliminated in the first round. We went to the Super Bowl. It was one of those things where we were slowly falling to the wayside as the season went on. And the Cardinals were playing great, but they still had to come and rip it away from us, and they didn't do that. And at the end of the day, we came out on top. But everybody knows, and I'm sure everybody in that organization knows, they feel like they would have been the team that did it last year if they had their quarterback. Just being real, they came into Seattle with Drew Stanton, and we played them down in Arizona with Ryan Lindley and Logan Thomas, I think. They didn't have their quarterback. They got blown out. Their offense did nothing in either game. So, in their minds, if you're a Cardinals fan, player, coach, member of the front office, whatever, you probably came out of last season feeling like you guys were better, except you lost your quarterback. I'm not going to say you're right or wrong. It's debatable. But the point is, this year they do have their quarterback. So it's going to be a lot harder to hold on to the crown. Because, I don't care if they're 2 games ahead of us. I don't care if they're playing better than us. We still have the crown. They got to take it away. Or if they don't forcefully take it away from us, then, I'm sorry, but that's what happens when you go to the Super Bowl 2 years in a row. So that's what this Sunday night's going to be all about. The Cardinals are going to try to violently end our reign in the division, and in order to save our season, in order to save whatever hopes we had of making a great run this year, we have to stop them. Nothing else really matters than that. And ultimate respect to the Cardinals for what they've done so far this year. Their loss to Pittsburgh was bad. Other than that, I think they played a great season so far. They're clearly playing better than us. I like the matchup. This Cardinals team, their offense, they are a big play offense. They like to drop back and throw it down the field to Larry Fitzgerald, John Brown, Michael Floyd. They like to make big plays with their passing attack. Carson Palmer is playing the best football of his life. I thought his career might be over after last year. I thought at best he would come back and be a game manager. He is no game manager. In fact, he's one of the few quarterbacks left in football who tries to make big plays down the field on a routine basis. Crazy the stuff he's doing, and I like Carson Palmer. He's always been one of my favorite players, but now he's the enemy. So, here's the thing. Their strength is throwing the ball to their outside receivers, using their wide receivers to make big plays. This Seahawks defense, they stop big plays. They cover wide receivers. Those are their strengths. This is strength on strength, people. Their best versus our best. Sherman versus Fitzgerald. Earl Thomas versus the 6 to 8 shots they're going to take downfield in this game. Cam Chancellor versus Michael Floyd coming over the middle. Strength on strength. The Cardinals don't have a great tight end who they can throw the ball to and exploit some of our issues in covering those guys. They don't use their tight end very much. That's not something that's going to kill us in this game like it did with Greg Olsen and Tyler Eifert. So I don't think very much of the Cardinals' running game. It's been working a little better than you might have expected with Chris Johnson. But for me, this is all about their elite downfield passing attack versus our elite pass defense. Wide receivers versus defensive backs, strength on strength. And I'll take us in that matchup against anybody. I know Arizona's doing it great this year, but I got to believe that our strength will be enough at home to overcome their strength. So that's their offense. When we have the ball, their defense, it looks like it's better than it was last year, and they blitz a lot. They blitz 44% of the time so far this season, 44%. In past years, Russell Wilson has been brilliant against the blitz. When the blitz comes, he gets it out fast and he makes big plays. This year, it's been a mess against the blitz because the offensive line is worse than ever. I think there's been some issues with some of the new receivers, Lockett and Graham, trying to get them integrated to where you feel comfortable. And I think it's Wilson not playing as well as he has in the past. But this is a game where you need to figure it out. Arizona might blitz 50% of the time on Sunday. Other teams know that we cannot guard against the blitz right now, and I don't know what Dallas was doing a couple weeks ago, but if they had sent more than the 6 blitzes that they sent that entire game, we might be talking about a 3-5 team just trying to save face instead of a 4-4 team trying to climb back into the season. So we're going to have to figure that out. Offensive line, you guys have been improving the last month. You got to continue to improve. We got to get to a level where winning a title becomes a possibility. You got to play at least half decent on the offensive line if you want to win a title. And right now, we're getting closer, but we're not there yet. However, if there's one thing I remember from last year's games against the Arizona Cardinals, tight ends. We have a dominant rushing attack that forces linebackers and safeties to crowd the line of scrimmage and think about defending the run. And 2 times last year, we got the Cardinals into situations where they were thinking about our run, and Luke Wilson and Cooper Helfet, 2 decent tight ends, were able to make big plays against them. That first game, it was Cooper Helfet. The second game, Luke Wilson destroyed them. Luke Wilson had the game of his life, probably the best game he will ever have in the NFL against the Cardinals. So, Jimmy Graham, I'm looking at you. I am looking at Jimmy Graham. You're supposed to be one of the 3 best tight ends in the league. You had a good first half of the year. Now we need you to have a great second half of the year. And you're playing a team that looks like they've gotten a little better at guarding the tight end. But that is where we can make a little bit of hay. I remember seeing it last year. Their linebackers are a little slow. Their safeties aren't the best in coverage. That's the place to go. And other than that, you want to run the ball. Arizona has shut down the run in the 6 games they've won this year. In the 2 they've lost, they've given up a lot of rushing yards. They lost to Pittsburgh. They lost to St. Louis. Those are the 2 games this year where the Cardinals actually gave up some decent running yards. So we got to get to probably 150 rushing yards total in the game. Lynch, hopefully he plays. Looks like he will. Rawls, Wilson, Jackson, whoever it is. I don't care who it is. Got to run the ball effectively. And target Tyrann Mathieu in coverage, the Honey Badger. Tyler Mathieu. I'm not so good with names, but Honey Badger, let's just call him Honey Badger, gives up a lot in coverage. He defends slot receivers on 3rd down. He does make some big plays, but at the same time, he gives up quite a bit in coverage. See what you can do with maybe putting Tyler Lockett in the slot, put Doug Baldwin in the slot. Get creative if you're going to throw at the wide receivers, because I'll tell you, Patrick Peterson, hell of a player on the outside cornerback. And if he follows Doug Baldwin around the whole game and covers Doug Baldwin on every snap, it could be a long night for Doug Baldwin. He might not catch more than 1 or 2 balls the whole game. I know how this works. I've seen this dance before. Jermaine Kearse, who knows if he'll be able to get open or not. Sometimes he does, sometimes he doesn't. You don't know what you're going to get with that guy. So be creative. Figure out who you're going to target in that secondary and make it happen. So that's what I can say about this game in terms of X's and O's. Target Jimmy Graham in the passing game. Try to make some big plays down the field with Tyler Lockett. Avoid attacking their outside cornerbacks. Run the ball. Earl Thomas needs to have another great game. He's been having a lot of great games this year. He needs another one. Strength on defense, but all that, it doesn't really matter how you do it. It doesn't really matter by what method it comes by. This is win or it's pretty much a wrap. If you lose this game, Arizona will have ripped the division away. They will know that they own us now. They will have the NFC West firmly in their grasp because I don't think the Rams are going to be there at the end. And it'll be all we can do just to stick around in the wild card race. If we win, I know Arizona will still be a game on us, but as far as I am concerned, if we beat them on Sunday night, we will still be in control. We will still have established that we are the team to beat in this division, and Arizona is going to have to win their games and then go prove something in Week 17 when we play again in Arizona. So, got to start doing the things the right way. I know a lot of people who are going to be at this game, so the crowd, the fans, show up. Because this could be the last hurrah for this season. This could be the moment where we find out that the team really isn't that good. And if it happens, don't let it be because of you guys. Don't let it be because you guys didn't affect the game. Go out there, affect the game, change the game, make life harder for the Arizona Cardinals offense, and make good things happen. That's all I can really say. I'm pumped. I know some people seem a little apathetic about this game. I'm not. I figure as long as we're going to play this game with our season on the line, may as well get excited for it. And I know I am. And I just hope these guys come together and give us something. See you guys later. Let's go Hawks. And I'll see you guys after the game, win, lose, or tie.